Welcome, welcome, welcome to the 5th week of the TwitchBBL League highlights and spotlights. This is Season 8 of TwitchBBL League. We're going to be doing something a little different from what we've done the past few weeks. Let me get the music to stop playing real quick. We're going to do what we did for the first State of the League address, and we're actually going to go through and look at all of the teams in all of the leagues. I did not have a lot of submissions for highlights this week, and it's the midway point of the season. Seemed like a good enough time to go through and start look at how everyone's team's developing, who is definitely the front runners, who is possibly going to be re-rolling their team for next season. So we're going to go through each division. We're going to go bottom to top according to the leaderboard, and we're going to look at all the teams and see how they are doing. We're going to talk about development. I have opened it up if anybody, any of the admins or anybody wants to drop in and chit chat or talk about their team or talk about other people's teams. I am in the streamer channel on the TwitchBBL Discord. You're more than welcome to join me. Let's get started. Oh, that's probably not where I needed to go. Let's go to team and league management. My leagues, TwitchBBL League. We're going to start in Europe Group A. So if we have a look at the leaderboard here, we've got Hot Grills, Nachi's team, out in front at 4-1-0. Kubusta's Lizards, also undefeated at 3-2-0. We got the Highland Harpies shortly behind that. Nurgle doing pretty well for himself. Crow Dog 2-1-1. Nurgle's always a tough team to start with. And then as we go down, we eventually get to Wolfskin's Orcs, who have not been off to a good start. We've got a Goblin team, not unexpected, 1-0-4. My Goblin team also not doing well. I believe I'm in last place in my division as well. So let's start going through the teams. So first we've got Orcs of Fame, and then Gobletown Fowlers. Orcs of Fame, Wolfskin's team. Wolfskin, a very good, experienced coach. Let's see what his team looks like. As you can expect, having not done very well, not a lot of development here. He does have Mighty Blow first on a Black Orc. I assume to help with progression. His team's off to a slow start. Perhaps wanted to try and speed along that Black Orc's leveling. It possibly has worked, although he may just have 2 MVPs. That might be where he got his 10 SPP. Yeah, he's got an MVP twice in 4 matches, so but maybe he hopes getting Mighty Blow on him, considering he's not gotten much development elsewhere. He has a kicker, first skill level up on a lineman. And he has no bench as of yet. He's got plenty of money in the bank, though. So he easily could buy a lineman bench if he wanted. But yeah, there's not much to see there. Next, we have the 9th place team, which is the Gobletown Fowlers. This is Martin. Martin, I believe, coached Lizards last season. Or at least he did in his first season. He has a Black Troll right out of the gate. Very nice. Not too much else to speak of. We've got a couple of sidestep goblins. I am a heavy goblin coach myself. I do prefer to go sidestep first skill on all my goblins if they don't roll doubles. Second skill, I maybe keep 1 that picks up diving tackle, possibly 2. And at that point, if anybody else hits a second skill without getting any nice level ups, stat ups, doubles, anything like that, they typically get fired. No, it does have a Pogoer. Surprising the Pogoer's not been leveling up more. Has he not scored very much? Because primarily, oh my. Okay, so he's had a 2-0 win and everything else has been a scoreless loss. So that would be why he's got no development on his Pogoer. Because primarily your Pogoer is going to be your scorer. So you'd expect to see a lot of SPP on the Pogoer, but he's not scored very many touchdowns. So his net score is, what, 2 and 10? 2 touchdowns for, 10 against. 2. Okay, he's got that one. He didn't give up any. 3, 5, 7, 9. Yeah, rough season so far for the Gobos. Next 2 teams, we have 8th and 7th place, both humans. The Spice Rack and then the Telian Panthers. Panthers. Oops, did not mean to click on that. Let's look at the human squads. First was the Spice Rack. Coached by Umbrella Hat. Ooh, I don't see a lot of players there. Aye. So he's got a level up he hasn't rolled. Please roll your level ups. Makes my shows a lot more interesting. Does have a nice blitzer here, a Mighty Blow Blodge blitzer. Typically I go Mighty Blow on when I play humans, go Mighty Blow on my first blitzer that levels up, and then everybody else is going to stack guard. So he's still on that path. He's got a movement busted blitzer, but obviously he's got a lot of holes before he worries about firing somebody with a movement bust, so he probably keeps this player for quite a while. Yeah, looks like he's had a rough go of it a little bit, keeping players healthy. He's down 2 permanently. Next, we have another human squad. Where are we at? No. Where? There they are. Talian Panthers. Christoph, level 1 coach. Alright. That doesn't make sense. How is he only level 1? He's played at least 1 game. Alright. 1, 1, and 2 is his record. He's got Mighty Blow on a Blitzer again. First skill. Not bad. Does actually have a thrower and a catcher, unlike the last human team that we saw. So he's a little less banged up, but he's still only going to have 3, 6, 9 active players for his next game. He's also going to be stuck with 2 loners for his next game. Still at 2 rerolls. Really want to get that 3rd reroll as humans. I usually find you typically start with the 3rd reroll. Maybe he went 2 rerolls and an Apo right out of the gate, and then has been forced just to replace damaged goods, and therefore hasn't been able to get his 3rd. Is this a niggle or is this just an MNG? Just an MNG, so not so bad. Hi, Mad Frog. I said hi to you in typed chat earlier, but I haven't said it out loud yet. Alright, let's look at the next 2 teams. We've got the 6th place Rats Caban Prisoners, version 2, and we got Black Ark Corsairs. Rats are on the 2nd page. Hello, Muppet. Let's look at this rat squad. Fresh. Is this? This might be a sub. No, maybe not. He's played 3 games. He might have been a sub early on in the season, perhaps. So we've got, yeah, he's got nothing yet. He's got a level up on a line rat that he hasn't rolled. That's not much development for rats. Is he not scored very many touchdowns? He had a 1-2 loss, a 0-0 tie, and a 2-1 win. Those are his 3 games he's played. Yes, we have our newly joined coach. Yeah, not much development yet, so he's not scored a lot of touchdowns. The gutter runner's getting close. He does have what appears to be a touchdown on Storm Vermin, so that's nice. But no level ups to speak of for him yet. And then next we had Black Ark Corsairs, Sir Lafine. I'm sure he plays something other than Dark Elves, but I've never seen it. Every time I see him playing, he is playing Dark Elves. So he has 2 blitzers blotched up, although one's agi busted, and he's not fired him as of yet. Perhaps we'll get around to that once he has some more money. I believe he got banged up very early in the season, has been kind of digging himself out of a hole. But he's not doing too bad at 2-0-2, all things considered. There's a leave on Group A too. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about that team, obviously. That's why we're looking at the leaderboard, so we can keep track of which teams are actively still in the league. But yeah, got a lot of development, but he's got his blitzers blotched up. Unfortunately, one of them's agi busted, so I would imagine he needs to be fired, and he has a Russell lineman. Still stuck at 2 rerolls. I think he might have gone the runner leader route, and then I think the runner might have died, if I'm not mistaken. Alright, so that was 6th and 5th place. Next we have Crow Dogs Nurgle and Ratanama's Dark Elves. Yeah, it is surprising. We've had the Europeans. We've lost a couple of European coaches, but we've been able to replace them, so that's nice. People have stepped up and been kind enough to play. All right, so nice. He's got a Blodge Pestigore, or not Blodge, but a Dodge Pestigore. It will be Blodge soon, I imagine. That'll probably turn into his ball carrier. Agi busted Rotter. Who cares? He'll die eventually, anyways. Strength up Rotter. That's an expensive Rotter, but still a good player. That gives him a 5th Strength 4 on the team. He's got block on one of his Nurgle Warriors. The rest of them, not much development as of yet, so hopefully manages to get some of them. But he does have the beginning of his Killer Pestigore and the beginning of his ball carrier, so pretty good development out of the gate, honestly, for Nurgle, and he's doing pretty well. 2-1-1 for Nurgle out of the gate is nothing to sneeze at. And he's got Stand Firm. I always like Stand Firm first on a beast. I know there's an argument for guard as well, but one of the best things a beast can do is stand there and just not go anywhere. And having that stand firm right out of the gate means he is torturous for people like me who like to play Skaven, and our gutter runners get stuck in place. So yeah, I like the team development so far. It's still on 2 rerolls. I'm guessing that's one of his priorities, is to get that 3rd reroll before too long. And then what was next? I forget. Oh, the other Dark Elf team, Highland Harpies. Right here. 1200 Dark Elf team, so he's not been beat to shit, which is nice for him. He's got 2 tackle. What is the lead? Does he need 2 tackle? He's got some skinks, some humies, goblins, orcs, Amazons. Ah. Does he have Amazons? Has he played the Amazons yet? I was just trying to see what the logic behind 2 tackle guys was. He has not played the Amazons yet. So that is probably a matchup-based decision to take a 2nd tackle player. Because those Amazons, Hanachi's Amazons that are in 1st place, is a team he has not played yet. So I'm guessing he wanted to get a 2nd tackler. He does have a Blodge Blitzer. Guard lineman's nice. Rolled the doubles on the lineman. Love on teams that don't have strength access getting that guard piece on one of your cheaper pieces on your lineman and whatnot. Still being Agi 4, he's still very mobile. You can put that guard right where you need it. And he's got a kicker. You can always take good advantage of a kicker on fast teams like Elves, Skaven, the like. And he's got what appears to be a Niggled lineman. I'm sure he would love to fire if he had the money, but he'll probably just ride him out until he dies of natural causes. He does have his 3rd reroll and has his Apo, so he's done a little bit better development, probably had fewer deaths, and he's gotten more touchdowns than the other guy, I imagine, at 3 wins and 2 losses. Next we have Kubusta's Lizards, who are in 2nd place, and then we have Hunachi's Amazons, who are in 1st place. Looking at Kubusta's and Lizards. Pardon me while I sip my gin. Strength up skink. Very nice. I always love a strength up stunty. I know everybody freaks out because it's so much TV bloat, but it just feels good to have somebody who can cage dive and 1 die on a stunty. Get him a maybe roll a double for block, and then he becomes one hell of a ball carrier. Not a lot of development on the sources yet, but they're all close. He's got some SPP on all of them. He's got block on one of them. Doesn't, in relation to his skinks aren't significantly more developed in general than where his sources will be as soon as they get a couple more SPP thrown in there. So I like the team development here. 3 rerolls, Apo. Team's well on its way. And then we have the 1st place Amazons. Has he lost yet? No, he's not lost yet. 4-1-0. Let's see his blitzers. He does have 2 Blodge Guard, one of which with Mighty Blow. He's got another Mighty Blow piece. He's Blodge on his catcher, and he's got 2 Wadger linewomen. He looks like he's going to be down a woman for next game. He's going to have 1 loner next game and no bench. Still has that 4 reroll build going. Yeah, so solid team development, honestly. There's nothing to sneeze at there. Yeah, that is the 1st place team, Hanachi's Hot Grills, and that is Europe Group A. We will now move on to Europe Group B. Looking at the leaderboard, and again, we're going to go from bottom to top. We've got, unfortunately, another rough go for Goblins. Goblins are underperforming. Well, they're performing exactly as expected, honestly, across the league as a whole. My Goblins are in last place, I believe, after my loss yesterday. The Goblins in the division we just looked at were 2nd to last, and the Goblins in this division are last. So, not terribly surprising. So we'll start there. Acro Zeratim, Acro Zeratum. I'm going to go with that. And Decoach are the first 2 we're going to look at. If you've not watched Acro's, any of his YouTube videos, has an amazing accent. I could just listen to that man talk about whatever for an indefinite length of time. So we're going to start there at the bottom and work our way up. High sodium content. Alright, let's see what he's got here. He's got no development whatsoever. And he's got 2 goblins he should fire. Goblins are cheap enough. I would just, well, what's that? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If he fires him, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, I guess for now you maybe keep the movement 5. You really don't want to be below 13 players on a goblin squad. So I can understand kind of keeping them around for now, but yeah, definitely want to fire them as quickly as you can manage. He is especially when you're running all 3 secret weapons, because you know most likely they're going to get tossed out of the game fairly quickly, or die. I mean, the chainsaw tends to just... My chainsaw died in my game this week, so that is Acro's Ratums. Goblins. Next we have to coach is Dark Elves. Not a great record, but the T value looks reasonable, so maybe he's got some development. At 1-0-4 has Mighty Blow Blitzer out of the gates, nice, and then a tackle added onto it. And then we've got guard. Wow, look at all these doubles. Mighty Blow double, guard double on both of them. He's got very nice development. He's got Blodge on the other blitzer. He's got leader and then dodge on his runner, and then some linemen. No witch elves, probably died or just hasn't had the money for them yet. 2 rerolls and Apo. 2 rerolls is fine, thanks to the leader. Looks like he's only got 10 players on the roster now, though. So, gonna have a loner. So his TV's actually gonna be 1230 for his next game. Next, we have the 8th and 7th place teams. We got Seo's Cheering Minotaurs and Thur's Elf Preservation Society. Let's have a look at the Nurgle. So he's got block on his warrior. He's got a nicely developing Pestigore already. His first killer. No semblance of a ball handler as of yet. But yeah, he's got decent SPP on all the warriors. 3 of them are one Kaz away from leveling up. He's got block on 1, and then he's got his killer starting to develop. Not a lot of players left though. Looks like 3 loner rotters for next game. That's a little rough, but what are you gonna do? 2 rerolls still, but he's got a lot of things to replace before he worries about that 3rd reroll. He's at 1, 1, and 2. That's Seo's team, the Cheering Minotaurs. Next we have Thur's Elf Preservation Society. I believe had a fairly rough game this week. So he's... Oh, this is the double assassin build. Thur's the guy running double assassins, one of which appears to be niggled. It's fine, they will just die on the light. Exactly so. Yeah, he has a niggled assassin. But assassins are expensive. That's the main reason why assassins are actually looked at as not very good. It's not that the player themselves is that bad. It's that 90k for that player is just not generally seen as worth it. He's got dodge on the other assassin. He's got 2 of his blitzers blodged up and an agility up blitzer. That's very nice. Get that man some leap. Block on a lineman, and he's got a runner who hasn't leveled up yet. He's going to be down, it looks like, just 1 loner for the next game. Oh, you niggled the assassin. Oh, did he beat you this past week, Sam? Yes, but he got beat up a bit by Mad Frog's Orcs, I think right before, might have been right before this broadcast, in fact. Alright, that is the 8th and 7th place teams. Next we have Chaos, Battle Brothers, and Elven Union, or Pro Elves by Bleeding Hippie. Where is the Chaos Squad? Second page. There we go. Battle Brothers. I think this is a new sub. I don't know that he's played a game yet. Oh, he's played 1 game and lost. But this is one of our subs. So thank you, Mixedly, for joining us and filling a hole that we needed filled. No development yet. Pretty standard Chaos build. All 4 Chaos Warriors, bunch of Beastmen, 3 rerolls. But he's got a little bit of development. Looks like he probably had 3 Kazas in the previous game. But it probably didn't score based on, played against Muppets Undead, it looks like. Then we have, who was next? Bleeding Hippie, that's right. Pro Elves. 2, 1, and 1. Reasonable start. Let's see what he's got development-wise. He has got 1 of his blitzers blodged up. He's got a guard catcher, that's nice. Dodge catcher. And a dodge lineman. And not a whole lot of death yet. Is this an MNG or a niggle? That is just an MNG. So he'll get that Russell guy back next game. Looks like he's going to have 2 loners for the next game. So his actual TV will be 1170 for his next game. Not a lot of development on the blitzers. You'd like to see a little better development on the blitzers there after 4 games, but it's not bad. I don't see anything getting. Excuse me. The doubles for guard there is nice. That was 6 and 5. Now we have 4 and 3. We have Manus Atra's Chaos Dwarves and Muppets Undead. Chaos Dwarves. Hi, TV getting way up there compared to the rest of the league. At 2-1 and 2. Wow, look at that bull. Holy shit balls. That is a nice bull centaur. Movement 7, strength 5. Oh my goodness. You can't even, but I mean, you don't even really want to use him as a ball carrier because he's just so good at smashing faces. Just need that, but you probably do use him as a ball carrier so you can force some more SPP on him and get him an actual skill. Right now, that's just a lot of TV. I mean, it's a really good player, but until you get him at least block, he's not doing a whole lot with it. That is a very nice bull centaur, though. He's got block on the other bull. He's got 2 mighty blow dwarves. No doubles for claw yet, apparently. Actually, all the other dwarves are 1 Kaz away from leveling up. He's got the obligatory dirty player hobgoblin and a wrestle hobgoblin. Yeah, I don't know about the plus movement. I mean, if you're really going to dedicate to making it, I don't know. Plus movement, I mean, there's a big difference between movement 6 and movement 7 as far as field coverage goes, especially if you have somebody who's playing like a safety. But since he's already got sprint and sure feet, he covers most of that distance anyways. I don't know, with the strength up, maybe he might have been better off taking just like block or something. If that was a double, I definitely wouldn't have taken. I would have taken dodge or something rather than the movement. But if it was a 6-4, could probably go either way. He's got no guard yet, that's true. But he's not playing in a. I don't think this division's particularly bashy. A lot of elves and stuff. I guess there's Nurgle and Undead and Orcs, but there's Amazon and whatnot as well. So that's Muppets team, or that was no. I need to still do Muppet. That's Manus Actra's team. That is a very good bull centaur. You could argue whether he should have taken the movement up or not, but either way, that's a very nice bull. Looks like it was a pretty standard undead build. He's got 3 ghouls, Blodge on 1, Wodge on 1, and guard on the other. Really like a guard ghoul. That's nice. They're just very mobile. But the key thing is you need to put them somewhere, and then you need to block the thing they're sitting next to because you do not want that guy punched in the face because he's obviously your most fragile piece. Got a Mighty Blow White. Neither of the mummies have really any SPP on them yet. That's unfortunate. They have 1 Kaz between the 2 of them and apparently no MVPs. So that's obviously a little lower than you would like. But yeah, no wasted TV on the zombies. No bench yet. He obviously could buy a bench though if he wanted. But it wouldn't do him any good to buy it this game because he's already down a player. So you obviously just accept your loner zombie for a game and then maybe buy 2 for the next game. Oh, you fired 1 mummy? Oh, did he get busted or something? Ah, niggle. Ugh. Yeah, that'll do it. That'll set you back some. But it's doing well this season, 3-1 and 1. 3rd place team in the division. All right, now we're going to look at the top 2, which, again, Amazons always do very well right out of the gate. His TV is crazy high for Amazons. I'm interested to see what that's all about. So we've got Anchor's Amazon team in 2nd, and we got Mad Frog's Orc team in 1st place. Looking at Anchor's team. It's just a lot of level ups. Nothing crazy. Oh my, 15 women roster. That's why his TV's so high. My goodness. I mean, I know they're cheap and all, but do you need 15 of them? We've got guard on a blitzer. We got movement up on a blitzer. Blodge step on a blitzer. Picked up sure hands on his thrower. Wodge line woman, Blodge line woman, a kicker, and then of course he's got his thrower. So not really a ton of crazy development, but a very, very deep bench. And that would be where all that team value is coming from. I mean, line women are good value though. But again, I don't know. That seems like more than necessary to me. I think 13, 14 maybe, but I think 14 is probably even more than you need most of the time. You know, I maybe run 14 or 15 once in a while on my Skaven rosters, but that's because they don't have Blodge on the line rats, or Dodge, I mean. And they don't really turn into good players even if you keep them around. Yeah, I would say 14 is probably my max for an Amazon roster. Okay, let's have a look at the first place team, which is Mad Frog and his orcs. Still undefeated, I believe. 4-1-0. Oh my. Oh, the Agi4 Blitzer, the dream. Very nice there. Mighty Blow, movement up Blitzer, tackle Blitzer, guard Blitzer, and block on his thrower. See, now this is why, this Blitzer right here is the reason why I hate orc throwers, because as soon as your Blitzer rolls something fun and awesome, he now should be your ball carrier. Because he's faster, he's better armored, and he's got block right out of the gate. And as soon as you roll either dodge or edgy up on him, you really probably would rather carry with him. I guess theoretically he's a receiver if you do actually want to throw the ball with the thrower. But anyways, nothing on the Black Orcs yet, although 2 or 1 Kaz away from leveling. Overall, pretty good team development, and he's winning. So we can look what his draw was. His draw was first game of the season. Oh, it was Sayo. That's why you asked Sayo. Sayo's Nurgle tied him. His only draw of the season. Yeah, you could try some throwing catching now that you've got an Agi4 receiver and a thrower with pass. That is true. That is an option. That is Europe Group B. We'll look at the leaderboard one more time. Europe Group B. Alright, moving on to Europe Group C. We've got... Come on, click on things. High Elves out in first place at 3-2-1. Although if General Marauders Dwarves win this week, he could pass him. He would have to win though. A draw, he'd still be in second place. But for now, anyways, the High Elves are out in front. We've got Amazons down near the bottom. Little surprising. Amazons usually start off well, but yeah, as you can see by the team value, he obviously did not have a great start to the season. Got a little banged up, and you know how that goes. Itchin making all our Goblin coaches proud with a 500 record at 2-1-2. All right, let's again start at the bottom, work our way up. We've got Amazon and then Undead. The Amazon squad. I'm not even gonna try and pronounce that name. I'll call him Remy for the RYM part. What game will probably not take place? Talk about the throwing game. Alright, so we've got Blodge, Mighty Blow on a... Dwarf versus Chaos Dwarf. Blodge, Mighty Blow, Blitzer. Standard Blitzer. Yeah, he's just not gotten any development. I think he's had a lot of injuries throughout the season. Yeah, I mean, Amazons are one of those things where if your opponent happens to POW you, they're probably going to break armor and they're probably going to remove line women. Once that starts happening, it just kind of spirals downhill, because then you get ganged up on, they get multiple push blocks, and then, yeah, it can get ugly if they start getting a numbers advantage on you, and he's not had the money to replace. He's only got 2 of his blitzers left. Yeah, it's going to be tough digging himself out of this hole, I think. And that one blitzer, I'm guessing that's got to be a niggle, right? Yeah, and his one developed blitzer he does have is niggled, so if she gets knocked down, she's probably done. Oof, that's rough. Next we have Undead on Drox's team. 1-1-3 record so far. A lot of movement. He's a fast Undead coach. Oh god, the things are all out of order. It hurts my brain. Hurts my brain to look at it. Alright, Mummies both have guard. He's got a Mighty Blow white. His other white has got movement up. He's got a movement up ghoul with his only level. That's pretty much it. He's got the one random skeleton thrown in there for extra movement to foul, maybe. And yeah, not really much to say there. He's got a lot of movement. Not a lot of super useful skills yet, but overall, I'd say that the fact that he's got the Mummies on pace with the main positionals is good development for Undead. So, 12-man roster. Next we have 8th and 7th place, which is Soulforged Dark Elves and J Sentinels Chaos Dwarves. Is there some way to get a zombie for the Journeyman over a skeleton, by the way? You always get a zombie. The Journeyman, right? Am I wrong about that? Don't Undead get a zombie as their Journeyman? I think both Necro and Undead get zombies as their journeymen, not skeletons. The only way you get a skeleton is buy one, I think. But I could be wrong on that. I'm not a big Undead coach. Oh wait, that's the wrong order. Who was first? See, now I forgot where it was at. Soul Forged. Okay, Soul Forged Dark Elves. Right here. Oh, you get a skeleton. I didn't realize that. I thought they got a zombie as their journeyman. No, there is no way to change that, I don't believe. Alright, so he's still stuck at 2 rerolls. Went Nerves of Steel first on his runner rather than leader. So he does legit have 2 rerolls and 1 Apo. He's got a movement busted blitzer. He's got 1 blodged up, 1 with guard. He's got an armor busted dodge lineman that I would imagine he'll fire. He's got money to replace, although maybe he's saving for a reroll, or could be saving for Witch Elf, and that's why he's. But yeah, so reasonable development, but I don't like the Nerves of Steel first skill on the runner. I know why you do it. It's so when you get blitzed and you have to dump the ball off, you're not taking penalties for tackle zones, but at the same time, I really like, I think the main reason you take the runner is to force some SPP on him and then get leader ASAP, so you can get that 3rd reroll and still keep your team value relatively low. He'll have a loner for next game, so his actual team value will be 1140 for that game. And then we have Jay Sentinel's Chaos Dwarfs. Jay Sentinel has 2 guard pieces. I like that rather than the other Chaos Dwarf we looked at went Mighty Blow first thing on both of his dwarves. I think you could have gone guard Mighty Blow. It would have been fine, but I like the 2 guard. No development on his Bull Centaurs is a little unfortunate for this front of the season, but he's clearly carrying with a Hobgoblin because he went sure hands first on a Hobgoblin. He's got a 1-man bench, 3 rerolls, and an Apothecary. Not a bad start. I'd like to see more SPP on the Bulls, but otherwise not too bad. Next we have Goblin, Itchin Masak, and Bend, Ogre Coach. Let's look at the... I believe this is the best Goblin team in the league, record-wise. 15-man roster. Nice, he's got a sure hands Goblin. That's very nice. But that's the main reason why I'm not an advocate of the Pogoer, because as soon as you have a Goblin that rolls something nice like that, that's your ball handler. And the main reason you take the Pogoer is because he's faster and he can be your ball handler. But he costs an extra 30k on top of what a regular Goblin costs. And as soon as you have a regular Goblin roll something awesome, like doubles, so you can get sure hands, you now want them to carry the ball. So that's why I don't really like the Pogoer. And you can't throw a Pogoer. If you could throw the Pogoer and movement 7, that would be awesome. The Star Pogoer you can throw. He does have right stuff. If you hire the Star Pogoer, he can be hurled across the field. Has the 2 secret weapons I actually like, which is the Looney and the Fanatic. Although I will say, playing my Legendary Edition Invitational match and having a Hail Mary Bomber, I may start rostering a Bomber and just praying to God that I roll Hail Mary pass, because that was OP as shit. And then he's got guard on both of his trolls. I like to go break tackle first on my trolls. Yeah, he does have loner, if you take the Star Pogoer, so that is kind of the drawback. I like to take break tackle first on my trolls because they're really your playmakers on the team, and I don't want them to get tied up by some piece of shit zombie or something. And the guard, while it can be useful, you're not really bashing things a whole lot other than with the trolls. So that's why I like to go break tackle first. Guard is usually my second choice. Actually, a lot of times I'll go break tackle on both of them first, and then guard on one and strong armor on the other for more goblin tossing shenanigans. But he's got the best record out of us goblin coaches, so who am I to give him shit? 2-1 and 2. And then Bend, doing very well for an ogre squad at 2-1 and 2. Has a lot of money in the bank too if he wants to do something with it. Oh, his dirty player Nobbler got armor busted. I'd imagine that gets him fired, but I don't really know. They're already so squishy, but yeah, armor 4 is really bad. He's got a niggled ogre with no skills yet. He's got 2 guard. He's got 2 block ogres, which is really nice. That's actually really nice. I don't know if he's ball carrying with his nobblers or if he's trying to carry with the ogres. With the block ones, I would definitely be trying. Next game, I'd certainly be carrying with this one to try and level him again. roll another double, pick up sure hands, and then that's a hell of a ball carrier. Still on 2 rerolls. I would imagine he's saving up money for a 3rd reroll. Alright, that was 6th and 5th place. Now 4th place is Chaos Squad by Hydrogen, Lithium, Nickel, and Carbon. And Underworld at 302. Underworld's doing really well in the league. It's kind of shocking to me how well Underworld's doing out of the gate. You'll see in a bit we've got a 1st place 5-0-0 Underworld team as well. Looking at the Chaos Squad, see if he's got a killer yet. And I always look for Chaos Warrior development to see how I feel like a Chaos coach is doing, because that's one of the tricks to playing Chaos early, is trying to get those Chaos Warriors developed. And he's got decent development. He's got block on 2 of them. He's got Mighty Blow on 1. The other 2 are lagging behind. Those could have been injuries that got replaced though, or they could just be the unlucky Chaos Warriors he's not been pouring SPP into. You can definitely see he's put a lot more into them than he has into the Beastmen. He's got a Mighty Blow, he's got a Tackle, and he's got a nice dodge Beastman that I imagine will eventually develop into his ball carrier. 3 rerolls and an Apo. He is down a man, so he'll have a Loner Beastman for his next game. So his actual effective TV will be 12-10 for the next game. And then we had, who was next? Underworld. That's right, the Gutter Runners. This is this guy's team. Again, not going to try and say that name. He's got a Kicker. He's got Mighty Blow on a Storm Vermin. He's got 2 2-heads Goblins. Overall, decent development. He still managed to keep a 13-man roster. 4 rerolls, I feel like is a bit much. I wouldn't want to run 4. I mean, I don't even run 4 rerolls on my Goblin teams. But especially with an Underworld team, you do have some reliable players with block and sure hands and whatnot. But he's doing well, so again, who am I to question him too much? But that is, I would probably prefer to only have 3. But yeah, reasonable development. He's not got much into the Storm Vermin yet. They're Skaven Blitzers, since they're not Storm Vermin on the... his Troll is 1 Kaz away from leveling as well, so that's nice. I assume probably first skill Claw, I would guess, on the Warpstone Troll. And then we have the top 2. 2nd place, Dwarves. And if General Marauder wins his match this week, who's he playing? He is playing Fantastic something or other, which is the Chaos Dwarves. So we have Dwarf, and you're saying that match might not happen? Somebody was saying that match might not happen. But let's look. This is the 2nd place team. If he wins this match this week, he would go into 1st place. He's got that Agi up runner, which we saw last week. 3 guards so far, and a Mighty Blow Troll Slayer. Blitzers haven't done much yet. Doesn't have a bench. Don't really need a bench too much on Dwarves. He's got money to spend, though. He's got 170 in the bank. So you imagine he's probably going to buy either a 2nd runner or a Longbeard with that money. And then that'll actually give him a 1-man bench. They don't play. That's what I meant. Oh. I still don't know what you mean, Mad Frog. That's okay, though. Anyways, so that is the Dwarf Squad. And then we have our 1st place High Elves at, I believe, 3-1-1. 3-2-0. Not as much development as I was expecting. Although this catcher's actually... so you got dodge and... So you got blodge on your catcher. That's nice right out of the gate. He does have a tackle first skill blitzer. Sure hands on his thrower. And he's got another dodge catcher. So actually development's fine. Probably has lost a player or 2 though. Because he's missing. He's going to need another lineman. Which he's got enough money for. Or he could buy his 4th catcher if he'd like. Which I would probably go with that solution. Because he's got just enough money for it. And even though the catchers are slightly squishier than linemen, you still have 4 linemen to put on the LOS to get beat up. You don't have to use your catchers, so I probably would buy the 4th catcher at that point. Start trying to get them developed. But good team. 3 rerolls and an Apo. And that is European Group C. High Elves out in front. Dwarves close behind. Now we move on to Europe Group D. We've got... Kemry still holding it down. Mr. Mo. I just want to say congratulations to Mr. Mo, because when he started in the league, he played Skaven in the same division as me and got his teeth kicked in. and had a really rough first season, and he stuck with it, and he re-rolled, and he decided to play Khemri. And I thought that is a really rough choice for a coach that had a lot of trouble in their first season, and he did okay. And then he stuck with Khemri again when we did the reset, and now he's tied for first place. So props to Mr. Mo for sticking it in there and learning. Very difficult team to play. Alright, so this is... We've got Stovehounds, Dark Elves, and Corn Knights, Goblins that we're going to look at first in 10th and 9th place. Ooh, goodness, 640. I'm interested to see what happened there. Looks like both these teams are pretty badly beat up. Have a nice one, Mad Frog. Thanks for stopping in. So he's missing his runner and a lineman for next game. That is just an MG, not a niggle. And the lineman is also just MG, so he'll get those players back. So, but he's going to have 3 loaders for this next game. So his actual TV will be 1040, so that's pretty reasonable. Not much development, though. He's got block on 2 of his linemen. He's got nothing on his blitzers yet, nothing on his runner. So, got a way to go. No third reroll yet. I don't know if he's planning on giving leader to that runner and just hasn't gotten the chance yet or not, but fairly beat up Dark Elf team. And then the 9th place team, we have Corn Knights, Goblins. Oh my goodness. That's hard to come back from. Wow, what happened? Oh, he played against Khemri last game. He had a death. How many injuries did he have? He had a death and 3 injuries that game. Oof, looks like he had a rough one against the Khemri. And you killed one of his trolls. Yeah, so he's down to a single troll, 4 actual goblins, and then his 3 secret weapons. That's a pretty impossible feat there to try and come back from that. Oh my goodness, I feel bad for that, for Corn Knight. That's going to be rough to come back from. Only level up he has, he's got Sure Feet on one of his goblins. That troll is 1 cas away from leveling, though. So, alright, let's look at number 8 and number 7. We have Carlos's Underworld and Sage's Kislev. That tells you how rough of a starting roster Kislev have. If Sage is at 1-1 and 3, you know that that's a tough grind starting out with Kislev. They develop incredibly well, but I can't get past how bad that early game is. Where? There he is, Carlos. Underworld squad, still at 1000 TV. He's missing a blitzer for his neck. He does have the claw on the troll, nice. That troll will level very quickly with claw and mighty blow. You've got block on one of your throwers. That is all of his level ups. He's missing a blitzer for next game. Let's make sure that's just an MG and not a niggle. Yep, just an MG. So he'll get that player back shortly. And he is currently sitting at 1-1 and 2. Then we have Sage's Kislev. He has block on a blitzer and guard on a lineman. And that is all he's got so far. No bench yet. Still has 4 rerolls and an Apo. He's got what, 2 catchers on the roster? Yeah. Not a lot of development yet for Sage, but next we have Toby Jugs orc team, or Pylon's orc team, and then we have Al Bundy's Pro Elves. I love the Al Bundy reference, by the way. All of the Polk High Pro Panthers. Although I'm getting ahead of myself, I was supposed to do the orc squad first. Who has a level up they've not rolled? Roll your level ups, people. It's hard for me to talk about your team. So he's got no development that we can see, hardly. Oh, actually, that's not true. He's got block on 3 of his black orcs, which is excellent, and theoretically he's got block on his 4th black orc. So that's actually really nice development for an orc team to get your black orcs leveled pretty quickly. In fact, his black orcs have almost all of his SPP. And then he's got a level up on a blitzer he hasn't rolled. So actually, yeah, no, that's a really nice development on our team. I was going to just breeze past him because it irritates me when people don't roll their level ups. But, yeah, he's got really nice developments on his black orcs. So that's fairly impressive. And then we have the Al Bundy's Pro Elves. He's got an Agi up lineman. block lineman, dodge on one of his catchers, dodge on both of his blitzers, although one's missing at least next game. M and G. You would put guard on one of the black orcs? I don't know. I think just getting them all block is nice, but guard certainly wouldn't be bad. And he's gonna be rocking 2 loners for his next game, so effective TV will be 11-20 for the next game. This guy might turn into a very nice player if you get him skills, but more than likely he'll die before then. Yeah, I like block on all 4 orcs, black orcs, before I get any of them guard, but I can certainly understand the idea of doing 2 and 2 as well, especially if they're developing quickly like his are. But getting block on them helps them knock people down early on, and therefore get more injuries and develop even faster. Alright, next we got Seramo's Ogres, who are still undefeated at 1-3-0, and then Shawnee's Chaos Squad, who's actually 2-1-0. His one loss he inherited because, again, we had Shawnee was kind enough to sub in for us when we lost a coach early in the season, so he inherited a loss. So he's not actually lost since he's joined the league. Oh, he's got an edgy up Ogre. Very nice, Ceremol. Block Ogre, break tackle Ogre. Wow. I like this Ogre squad a lot. Still no Apo. Yeah, 1-3-0 with Ogres is very impressive. I would be buying an Apothecary if I were him, though. He's actually got all 6 Ogres at this point, too. So he's rocking all 6 Ogres and still only 2 rerolls, so that could cause him some issues. But having the edgy 3 Ogre is really nice, and having a block Ogre. So very, very nice development, and he's got no wasted level ups on the Nobblers, although if they had, he's probably fired them. But yeah, I would buy that Apo before my next game, for sure. And then we've got Shawnee's Chaos. 1170 so far. Mighty Blow Beastman, dodge Beastman, so there's your potential ball carrier soon. I don't like that Ogre squad, still have to play him. Yeah, that might be that's one of the few games you're not going to outstrength somebody, Mo. Not a lot of development on the Chaos Warriors yet, but he does have a block piece. He's only played 3 games, remember, because he subbed in. He hasn't played his game from this week yet, and this guy's 1 Kaz away, and then we'll see. But so far, good development. The double for dodge is nice on the Beastman. 3 rerolls and an Apo. No bench as of yet. Back to the leaderboard. Next, we have the top 2. We have Mr. Mo and Bobby Bintang. Both tied for first place at 4-1-0. Having a look at Mr. Mo's squad. He's got block skeleton, dirty player skeleton, block on both his throw raws, leader on one of them. He's got that dirty strength up blitz raw. What happened to your other blitz raw? I only see 1 blitz raw here. Somebody had a blitz raw die. Who'd you play last game? Goblins. Did they manage to kill your... Did the goblins manage to kill your blitz raw, Mo? He's got plenty of money. He can replace him. So he'll have a second blitz raw if he wants it before the game. Tomb Guardians. He's only got 1 leveled up with Mighty Blow, and it is apparently injured for the next game. Double miss next games. Does that mean he misses 2 games? You never bought a second blitz raw? I would get on that. Definitely would want a second blitz raw. They're one of your best players. Anyways, so team's developing decently. Not much on the Tomb Guardians, though. You'd like to have a lot more development on those Tomb Guardians. And then our other first place, tied for first place team, is Orcs, Bobby Bintang. Guard on his Agi Busted Black Orc. Double movement up Blitzer. So he's got a movement 8 Orc. Mighty Blow Blitzer, who hasn't rolled his level up yet. And then a Tackle Mighty Blow. You get that guy piling on, and he is the perfect Blitzer at that point. Well, you want jump up, hopefully, if you roll doubles at some point. Yeah, he's got a movement 8 Orc. That's impressive. That's the one argument, more than anything else, for taking the movement up, the first movement up. You can't have a movement 8 Orc until you have a movement 7 Orc. And he's got a couple of linemen. No thrower build. I approve. He has a troll now. Did he just buy this troll recently, or has he just not done anything? He's played all 5 matches and has 0 SPP. He's done 6 injuries, but no casualties. Alright, so that is the end of Group D. So that is all of Europe done. Congrats to those that are doing well. Good luck to those that are struggling so far. I hope it turns around for you. And now we'll have a look at the US. US Group A, this is my division. You will see me proudly... Oh, I'm not in last place. Oh, because of that tie. Depending on how the humans play this week, I might be in last place after this week. I may have some friends, though. We were all tied at 1, 1, and 2. 4 of us here. And then I was the first one to play my game this week, and I lost to the Norsemen. But I did my tie there is against the first place team. That was a fun game. I feel pretty good about that one. Alright, so looking at the teams, first we have humans, Levelin Sissy Killers, and my Goblin team in 10th and 9th. Robbie defense. Let's look at his human squad. Looks like a full squad. Armor up thrower. Not a huge fan of that. He's only got 3 blitzers on the roster. He's got no money, so he hasn't had a chance to replace a 4th blitzer apparently. He's got Mighty Blow and then Juggernaut. Interesting. I would rather that be tackle, but okay. And then that's all of his development. No bench, 3 rerolls, and an Apo. Looking at my Goblin squad, I think I have virtually no development. He had 5 cheerleaders. I missed that. I believe Robbie was a guy that told us that he had not played much multiplayer when he joined. Yeah, he does have 5 cheerleaders and 5 assistant coaches. So he wins all the kickoff events. Looking at my Goblin squad, I don't even look at that. I didn't even think about it. So I never even look over here other than the rerolls and the Apo. This is my Goblin squad. We do have a break tackle troll. I had to replace 2 players after this week's match. I had to replace both the Looney and one of my sidestep goblins. Let me rearrange this because this is bothering me. There we go. That's better. Oh, I like my SPP in order. Alright, so not much development yet. 1, 1, and 3. They got him all the wrong advice on that thrower, yeah. So that's my Goblin squad. 3 rerolls, still no Apo. Next we have Planet Houston's Underworld and Wunderbar's Dark Elves. Planet Houston. Ooh, TV 8 or 900. That's not great. He's missing a thrower and a line rat for next game. He does have very nice development on his troll. He's got both claw and now guard. That's a very nice developed troll. Obviously, block would be great, but having a leveled 3 troll this early on is nice. No development on his blitzers, unfortunately, and his only developed thrower is out for at least a game. Is he niggled or just MNG? Just MNG. Yeah. Not a bench. Has no bench for his next game. He's missing 2 players. He's actually going to have a loner goblin for his next game, so that's a little rough. 3 rerolls and an Apo. And then we have Wunderbar's Dark Elves. That's a fun name to say. Wunderbar. Has an Agi-busted Blitzer. He's got Blodge in all 3 of his other Blitzers. He's got an Armor-busted Runner. He's got a level up on a lineman he's not rolled yet. A Witch Elf and a Russell lineman. Still at 2 rerolls and an Apothecary. He's got a little bit of money, but not enough to replace a player. He'll have a loner this week. That'll put him up to 1180 TV for his game. Not too much to say there. Pretty standard level ups. Blodge up your blitzers. All that jazz. Next we have Max Adams' Dark Elf team and Falls Undead. Here we go. Evil Midnight Bombers. He's got 2 Blodge blitzers and a Russell lineman, a block lineman, and that's it. Does he have all 4? He's only got 3 blitzers. So he's lost a blitzer at some point, or never bought one potentially. 3 rerolls and an Apo. He's going to have a loner next week. Again, pretty standard development. And then we had... Who's next? Falls Undead. 2-0 and 2. He's got Blodge on a Ghoul, Wodge on a Ghoul, Block Zombie. He's got another undeveloped ghoul who just needs a touchdown. No development on the whites or the mummies yet. Pretty standard stuff. Not a lot of great development there. 3 rerolls is nice. He's got a shit ton of money in the bank, though. He's going to have to spend that on something. I don't think I would pick up a 4th ghoul at this point. Probably just picks up either a zombie or a skeleton for an extra body to burn that money off. Or you could upgrade your stadium if you don't want to run a bench, but I would want a bench at least for fouling potential. So if I'm him, I'd probably pick up a zombie or a skeleton with that money. And that'll put him right at the 150 cutoff. Alright, that was 6th and 5th place. Hold on, I gotta sneeze. Excuse me. Alright, next we have Norse, which is the team that beat the shit out of my goblins this week, and Eisen Mike's Orcs. Looking at the Norse team, he had a lot of development on his runner and not much else the game I played him. And that's kind of still where he is. He's picked up tackle lineman. He's got this nice runner, block, dodge, and sidestep. One of his berserkers is movement busted, which I would get rid of him ASAP because I do not like slow frenzy pieces. That just gets you into trouble. He's got block on one of his ulfs. The other ulf just needs 1 Kaz to level up, and his Yeti has not leveled up as of yet. He's missing 1 player for the next game. Is that a niggle? I didn't do a whole lot of damage to him in that game. That's one of the little bit of damage I did. 3 rerolls and an apothecary. He'll have a loner next game, so he'll actually be at 1220 TV for his next game. But Nords have some of the best loners in the game. Eisen Mike also has an Agi up blitzer. He's got a blitzer who's leveled up, but he hasn't rolled it yet. And he's got no development on his Black Orcs yet. He's got 2 of them that look like they've rolled MVPs. So not the development you would like to see on the Black Orcs, but he is winning, so that's what's important, I suppose. And he does have a thrower, which, as I've said before, I hate on an Orc team. And then the top 2, we got Sasanike Lizards, and we got Stringerbell's Necro. Now, Stringerbell had a rough game a couple weeks ago where he lost both of his werewolves, one of which was Mighty Blow. He had managed to buy a fresh one before the game I played him, when I got a draw with him. I don't know that he's played a game. I don't believe he's played a game since then. So Sasanike has had a drastically banged up Lizardman team all season, and he's still winning regardless. He's 3-0-1. I think that 1 loss was just his last game too. No, he won that game. He lost to the Undead, but he has been running with 2 or 3 sources for most of the season because he got off to a really rough start, losing a bunch of players, and he's been just kind of replacing sources and trying to scramble back the whole season. He's still rocking 2 loner skinks for the next game, but he keeps winning. He's doing well despite it. He does have block on one of the sources now, but he's got this armor busted one I'm sure he'd love to replace, but he needs 10k more before he can even get another source. He has no Crocs. But he's doing well. And then we have the first place team, Stringerbell's Necro. He's still, he hasn't played since the game I played him. Mighty Blow Tackle White is nice. He's got a Blodge Ghoul. Both Flesh Golems, neither with any development yet. And he's replaced one of the 2 werewolves that died, but he didn't get any development on him in his first game. He's at 2 rerolls. He's going to be stuck at 2 rerolls for a while because all of his money is going to go into buying another werewolf. And that's where he's at. But he is in first place at 3-1-0. So he's doing well despite that loss. He did have a Mighty Blow werewolf for 1 game, and then both of his werewolves died. That is Group A. We then move on to US Group B, which is the division that I'm admin for. We have Sukari in first place, followed by the second place Halfling team, Pig Sofa. Got another win this week to improve to 2-3-0. Beating Nurgle, Sparks Nurgle, I believe. Yep, 1-0. Proving the little guys can do things too. Alright, so starting at the bottom, we've got Enar and then Bush Ranger. Enar has had a rough season. He's lost a lot of elves. It started early and it's not gotten better. He's got just one War Dancer, he's got one catcher, and a bunch of linemen. Not a bunch. Not as many as he would like. He's got 5 linemen. One of which has guard at least, but he's still stuck on 2 rerolls and no Apo, which means the hits are most likely going to keep on coming. He does have enough money in the bank to finally replace one of his War Dancers, get back up to a second War Dancer. And I imagine that's what he'll do before the game, and then he'll have 3 Loner Elves. So maybe this is the start of him dragging himself back. Next we have, was it Bushranger next? Yes, Bushrangers, Halflings. TV 500 this week. I have a feeling we may get to see some Morgan Thorg this week, as he is missing both trees for this game. Are they? That one's niggled, and this one is just MNG. So he's got a niggled tree and an MNG tree. So he's got nothing but Halflings for this game. He, I believe, is playing Sukari this week, who's in first place. Let's see. Yes, he is playing Sukari's team this week, and Sukari is at 1120 TV. So he's looking at 620 in inducements, so it'll be interesting to see what all he buys with that. Alright, next we have Piece of the Verse Undead, followed by Spears Undead, or then Spears Undead. So we're going bottom to top. Piece of the Verse, 1010 Undead team. Let's see. Does he only have 1 mummy? He only has 1 mummy. One must have died, I would imagine. He has a Pro Skeleton. Oh yeah, I remember this one. Pro Skeleton. Still not sure what that was all about. Block Zombie, and a Mighty Blow Tackle White. But he needs to get a second mummy ASAP. And he's got no development on the one that he's got. 3 rerolls. Next we have the other Undead squad, which is Spears squad. They have a much higher TV. I imagine they're a little more developed. He's got Stand Firm on both mummies, one of which has guard. 2 of his ghouls have blodge. He also has a pro lineman. What is with the pro lineman? There's a pro zombie. And then nothing on his whites yet. And he does have a 4th core. Very deep bench, so that's where a lot of his TV is coming in, is having a 14-man roster. 3 rerolls. Spear has not lost a game yet. He's not won a game, but he's not lost one either. Next we have Sparks Nurgle and Yoshi Haruma's Undead. So let's look at Sparks Nurgle. 1170 TV. We've got block on a warrior. Another warrior's almost leveled. He's got a block Pestigore, dirty player Rotter, and a rookie Pestigore. So not a lot to say yet. Still at 2 rerolls. He's got that second Pestigore. I imagine 3rd reroll is probably the next thing on the docket, assuming he doesn't have too much in the way of team deaths. But I would imagine he's saving up for a 3rd reroll at this point. I doubt you buy a 3rd Pestigore until you have these first 2 pretty well developed. Next we have Underworld. As I said, Underworld not doing too bad for themselves overall across the league. He also has a very nicely developed Warp Troll. Claw and guard on his as well. And that's it. That's all of his development. It's all on the troll. So either he just hasn't... He's got a lot of SPP spread around the rest of the team. I don't know if he's had a lot of death or if it's just gotten so spread out other than that. But that's a nice troll. So as long as his troll does his job, he could win some games that way. 3 rerolls and an Apo for him. Alright, that was 6th and 5th. Next we have Vampires in 4th place and Kislev in 3rd. Both undefeated at 2-2-0. Are they playing each other this week? No. He's playing Underworld and the Vampires are playing Undead. So Lazy Lifeguards Vampires in 4th place at 2-2-0. I will probably be playing some Vampires on my stream shortly after I finish this. He's got a block first vampire, a pass vampire. So he's going with the block first route on vampires. From what I understand, most people like to go dodge first on vampires, but he has decided to go block first, which I can see the merits of one or the other. But I do know that most people go dodge first on their vampires, and then he rolled doubles on one of them, so he went ahead and took pass. He's got a block thrall. How many players does he have? 1, 2, 3. 12-player roster. 4 rerolls and an Apo. Pretty nice on vampire team, honestly. I like it. I almost would rather go wrestle on a thrall than block, though. Maybe even dirty player or a kicker. But he doesn't have a very deep bench, so dirty player maybe isn't that useful yet. Maybe once you get to 13, 14 players, you pick up dirty player. And then next we had Fiction's Kislev team, which are doing pretty well for themselves. Oh my! Multiple agi. 4 rerolls is pretty standard on a vampire squad. Starting, if you do a 3 or a 4 vampire start, you usually go 4 rerolls. He's got an agi 5 catcher and an agi 4 lineman. Block on one of his blitzers and wrestle on one of his linemen. Does have an agi busted lineman. I would imagine that guy will get fired before too long when he can afford it. I probably would just fire him now and rock a loner, honestly. Because, I mean, I guess you can just stand him on the line and wait for him to die, but you can have a loner do that in the meantime. 4 rerolls and an Apo. He does have dodge on one of his catchers, the one that doesn't have agility up. And he just needs a pass, and he'll be up to, he'll have another level up, so. And this blitzer just needs a Kaz or a touchdown or something, and he'll level up, so he's close to developing a bit more. And then we've got the top 2 teams. We've got Pig Sofa's Halflings up there in 2nd place, and then Sakari's Skaven. Let's have a look at the Halfling squad. 1930 or 930 TV. He's got the Agi 4 Pro Halfling. He was talking about this in my stream, and I said, "Good God, why didn't you take block?" And he was like, "The Pro is for the landing rolls." So apparently he is just going to be hucking this little halfling all over the place, is the plan. And Pro will let him land more often. Also could help with pickups, any number of other things. I mean, Pro can be useful. I think block is definitely the way I would have gone with that. But I can see it, I guess. Break tackle on one of his trees. I guess that makes sense. I mean, I take break tackle on my trolls, but it's just you're so slow. But I guess you could cage dive theoretically if you're close enough. Yes. I don't know if it was. I don't think he was Agi 4 then when I highlighted him on the play of the week. But this is the team, yeah, that I highlighted on the play of the week, where he got thrown and ended up surfing a ghoul for a touchdown. I don't know if it was that player or not. I'm on this team. He told me I got MVP in his last game, so that's why I've got 5 SPP. And then he's got 1 injured. Is this just an MNG? Yep. But he is putting on quite the show. He is undefeated at 2-3-0 on Halflings, which is no small feat, pun intended. And then we have our first place team, Skaven. Sakari Skaven. Timo, still around and kicking. Agi 5 Blodge, Gutter Runner. Dodge, just rookie Gutter Runners otherwise. No development on his Stormvermin yet. He does have Guard on his Rat Ogre. And Wrestle on his Lemonade. See, now, when I do run a Rat Ogre, I'd like to take Juggernaut on them first. Because I don't like Guard on them because it's so unreliable actually getting them somewhere you want them. Because unless you're blitzing, half the time they just don't move. And so, yeah, I just would rather that be something that helps me blitz better. Because if you're going to run a Rat Ogre, you're going to blitz with them a lot. But yeah. And he is in first place, and it looks like he's down a single rat, so he'll have a loner for next game. So he'll actually be 1170 for when he places 5. So Bushranger will have 670k in inducements to spend for their match this week. Be interesting to see what he gets. And that is US Group B. So we got 1 group left to go. You think Guard is the way to go? I disagree. But then again, I don't run a Rat Ogre much, so I could be wrong. But I do play Skaven a lot. I did qualify on my Skaven team. That will be starting up soon for the Champ Cup. This is the fun division to watch because there is a lot of really good teams so far. Bretonians just lost their first game last week. This Chaos Dwarfs coach just lost his first game 2 weeks ago. Both of those were actually against Shattered Ice's Pro Elves, who are at 5-0-0, and we have a 5-0-0 Underworld team. So this is a very black and white division. We've got some really good teams and teams that are really struggling. But we'll start at the bottom. We've got 2 Kislev teams, both no wins and no ties so far. Yes, I did. So my rats qualified for Champion Cup. So that'll be starting soon. All right, let's look at McMurdy's Flying Circus, the 10th place team. He's got 2 armor busted linemen. He does have a strength up blitzer, which is nice. Dodge on one of his catchers, and he's got a lineman level up that he's not rolled yet. 4 rerolls and Apo. He's going to have 3 loners for next game. So his actual TV will be 1150. But the strength up, that's nice on blitzer. He's got 3 blitzers on his roster. That's the hard part, is actually finding the money for all of your expensive positionals on Kislev. And then the other Kislev coach right here is Vort. He's at 910. He does not have as many positionals. He's only got the 2 blitzers, and his catcher is hurt for the next game. So he's going to have no Agi 4 for that game, which is going to be rough. And it looks like 1, 2, 3, 6. So it looks like he's going to have 2 loners for his next game. And his only development is he's got block on the lineman. So he's got worse development so far than the other Kislev coach. Next we have Stupid Flings by Tilly, which have not had as good a luck as Pig Sofas. And then we have Deft Wolf's Chaos. Let's look at the Halfling squad. Right here. 690 TV. He's got Grab on one of his trees. That I like better than Break Tackle in general. He has a Movement Up Halfling. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't think being Movement 6 instead of Movement 5 is worth doubling the cost of a Halfling. I'm pretty sure I would have passed on that level up, especially if that was a double. He is going for the heavy inducement build where you only run 1 reroll and obviously don't run an Apo, and then you hope your chef can steal a lot of rerolls for you. And then also probably try and induce Strong Branch, Iron Bark, or whatever his name is. Or Deep Root. Deep Root, I think is his name. Who was next? Chaos. Deft Wolf's Chaos Squad. At 1-0-3. He's got decent development on his Chaos Warriors through 4 games. He's got block on 2 of them, Mighty Blow on another one. This one just needs a touchdown. This one just needs any 1 SPP from anywhere. He is running a Minotaur on his Chaos. You don't see that a whole lot. It's a shame, because Minotaur is actually... I really like the Minotaur as a player. I just feel like it in the roster with all the horns and all the other players that you'd rather be blitzing with, I don't think it's as strong. It's sort of like the Rat Ogre. I think the Rat Ogre would be a great player. I just don't like him on my Skaven team because he doesn't fit what I would like to do with my Skaven. But overall, he's got decent development. Not a lot of SPP, though. Guessing he's not scored a lot this season. Yeah, he's got a lot of 1 or no touchdown games. So that is the Chaos. Next we have Ferril's Lizardmen, my lizard pony. Yeah, unless you get block on it. And Professor Chaos Bearded Men. Professor Chaos is a good... Whoops, I'm jumping ahead. We need to do Ferril first. Professor Chaos is a very good Norse coach. I've run into him multiple times playing Norse. I think I said Chaos. Norse coach. I've run into him a couple times in Champ Ladder with my Goblins or Skaven. He's got a Sherfie. He's got a Russell Skink. That's a nice skink. Double on your skink. He's got 3 Sauruses that he's gotten level ups on for block, and he's got a Guard Croc score. So pretty nice development on a Lizard squad. 3 rerolls and an Apo. He's going to have 1 Loner Skink for his next game, but I like that the way that roster is coming together. Looking at the Norse, we've got a block Mighty Blow Ulf. Nice development on an Ulf. We've got a Guard Runner and a Tackle Lineman. That's about it. So I like the development on the Ulf. You really want to get your Berserkers. I usually, when I've tried to play Norse, and I haven't played them a ton, but I'm usually trying to use the Berserkers as ball carriers because they're your reliable strength access pieces, and I really like to try and force levels onto them as quickly as possible. They turn into your superstar players, and he's not gotten any development on them yet, unfortunately. Alright, that was 6th and 5th place. 4th place, we have Chaos Dwarves. Now we're getting into the teams that are doing like amazingly well this season. Chaos Dwarves and Bretonia. Red Joker's Chaos Dwarves. He does have a dodge bowl. That's nice. Get him blodge. Turns into a very good player. Guard on a blocker, Mighty Blow on a blocker, and a block Hobgoblin. So not a lot of development yet. He is going to have one loner for his next game. Probably the game after he buys 2 Hobgoblins, and then suddenly he has a bench. 3 rerolls and an Echo. The Bretonnians, I believe they have an Agi 4 Blitzer unless something terrible has happened to him. They do. Still have the Agi 4 Blitzer. They do also have Blodge on 2 of them, one with Leaner, one with Tackle. He's got Mighty Blow on his Wrestle, one of his blockers. I talked about this. I don't really know how I feel about getting the Mighty Blow on your blockers, even though I know they have the strength access naturally. You end up wrestling so much. If you watch, we did a game of the week, which was him against Pro Elves, Shattered's Pro Elves, and the fact that he was wrestle instead of block saved him from so many Mighty Blow hits. And then he's got no wasted SPP on his lineman. But only 1 reroll though. I don't know if he's always had one. I think he must have fired a reroll now once he got the leader. He's trying to manage his TV a little bit, I think, because I don't think he was 1 reroll back then, but maybe he was. Then we have the 2 first place teams tied at 5-0-0. We have Shattered's Pro Elves and Agrain's Underworld. Both have already played their match for this week and won. Looking at Shattered's team. Mighty Blow Blitzer, very nice, with Blodge. He's got another Blodge with Tackle. He's got Dodge on his catcher. And that's about all there is to see here. He's got a block lineman. Still working on replacing. He's got a lot of money in the bank, though. He could buy a catcher for 100K, and then wait. He could spend that to buy 2 linemen and not have any loaners. He could just use the loaners for a little bit and keep saving up money. He's got a lot of options there, but loner elves aren't that bad. You put them on the line, they're still agility 4. You just can't reroll anything with them. And then the other first place team, Agrain's Underworld. Let's see what these guys look like. That's some really nice Underworld development. He's got Mighty Blow on both Blitzers, one of which he's gotten Claw on already. This one just needs a score or a couple of Kazas, and he'll have Claw. You've got a block thrower, you got a wrestle lineman, and you've got a 2-headed goblin. That is really, really nice development. His troll's not done much of anything yet. I think he mentioned that in the Discord, that if it weren't just the trolls being a piece of shit, everybody else has been great. But yeah, it needs a little development. I like the wrapper names for the players as well. 3 rerolls and an apothecary. It's very, very solid development on an Underworld team. And that is US Group C. And that is everybody. So that's where we're at, roughly the midway point in the season, round 5 of 9, pretty much exactly the midway point in the season. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. I appreciate you stopping in. Those of you that are checking us out on YouTube, thank you so much for checking the video out there. Eminem, just a goblin, fair point. But good luck to everybody with the second half of the season, and I will see some of. Thank you so much for stopping into our Week 5 of the Twitch Blood Bowl League State of the League address. This week, I hope you enjoyed us looking through all of the teams. I hope you got to see your team and enjoyed my thoughts on it. Maybe you disagreed with some of them, but I still hope you enjoyed the show. Please hit the subscribe button. If you are new here, check me out on my Twitch channel on twitch.tv/jumpy_Jim. Also can catch other Twitch Blood Bowl League action. We're running our Legendary Edition tournament right now. You'll see all of that on the Twitch Blood Bowl League Twitch. Please check us out there. It's twitch.tv/TwitchBBL. Thank you for tuning in. Have a wonderful day, morning, afternoon, or night, wherever you are. Take care of yourselves.